What up, everybody? Brandy the Disconnector in the house, and welcome to this week's installment of the Coach and the Disconnector. I am Brandy the Disconnector, of course, and Coach is out adulting this fine evening, but in her place, I have an amazing guest co-host in the house. I'm gonna bring her up right now so y'all can say hello. What's going on? We got Coach Tracy, the Reset Coach, in the house this fine evening. How you feeling, Sister Queen?
I am feeling great. Thank you for having me on the Coach and the Disconnector.
Absolutely. So, y'all, last week was absolutely phenomenal. I know y'all missed us last week. We had to do a replay, but here's why. You know, when you are looking and waiting for certain things to become available and you just get signs like, bah, 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 okay, are you listening? Are you paying attention? That happened for me last week. Carrie had to do her adulting thing and work, so she wasn't available last week. And then this week, our guest actually ended up coming down with an illness and wasn't feeling well. So I said, you know what? This is the sign, because I've been plugging into this crypto training and I had an absolutely amazing time. I learned so much last week, and the things just lining up just let me know that's where I was supposed to be. So I went ahead and made the decision to play the replay and attended that training, and I have no regrets. So y'all, when you gotta weigh things out and choose your priorities, don't feel bad if you need to put certain things on the back burner or temporarily on hold to take advantage of stuff that is here and now versus being available a week or two later. Some things aren't going to be available all the time, and you need to be able to recognize that. So, Sister Tracy.
Right. Yes.
How's your week been?
The week has been great. As you know, I'm coming off of, I'll show my shirt, the Power of We Symposium. Absolutely amazing. I got to be the co-MC on the main stage and had a great time pouring into those beautiful children. So I'm full of energy.
Hey, Coach Toy. Welcome.
Hey.
And great evening to you, sir and or madam. So, y'all, we have a special guest in the house by the name of Raymell Bentley. Y'all are in for an absolute treat. So, Raymell is an energy coach, a model, a fitness instructor, and a dancer, and so many other things. These were just the things that came to mind when I think about Mr. Raymell Bentley. So, our topic this evening is actually going to be the power of emotions, because our tagline for Mr. Raymell is the energy guy. We just call him our energy guy, because he's the one to make sure we all have it at the forefront of our mind that where our attention goes, energy flows. That is something all of us know that have been around Raymell for any extended period of time. So, without further ado, let's bring on the Brother King, Raymell. Y'all know I'm going to hit you with the countdown, right? You know it? Okay. I'm so excited. What's going on, Brother King? How you feeling this fine evening?
Feeling amazing. How are y'all? Happy, what's today? Thursday. Thursday.
Mayo, that's what it is. I have my right here.
Happy Thursday. Like, you just come out. I just got to say this. You come out and you're so calming, right? Just your voice, your whole presence is like,
We're going to start calling you Brother Zen.
Yes.
Everyone that I come in contact with, they were like, you are so just peaceful. Like, you have a calm spirit. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So was there ever like a rowdy Raymell?
Oh, yes.
The eyebrow raised on that one.
This calm, zenful Raymell was not always who you have seen. People from back in the day know the Raymell that I've transformed from. Let's just say that.
So tonight we're going to be helping others to realize how powerful their emotions are. What is the thing most important to know about emotions?
Whew. Good question. Emotions. I'll start with a lot of emotions we often suppress, repress. A lot of us are dealing with a lot of trauma that we are not giving attention to. So we're in such a reactive state,
Mm.
which we give our power away to people, to things, to situations that make us feel powerless, reactive, and we just feel out of control when it comes to our life and ourselves. And emotions, it's just energy that's in motion towards whatever we're giving our attention to. But emotions are just always passing through us. And often we try to avoid feeling emotions, whether it be what we call negative or bad. We're like, I don't want to feel that. So let me just be positive. But if we don't allow that emotion to flow through, we block it within, and that's how we just continuously attract things that vibrate at that frequency that we're operating at, meaning that emotion that we have stored within. So it's really when we honor our feelings and learn that there's so much power in our feelings, we learn how to feel our feelings, release them, and let them go.
And I interject for 1 minute because you did something really key. I want to know, like, what that was for, what it felt like, because you released right before you actually said what you just said about emotions. You took a whew, right, and
Mhm.
then you proceeded. So talk to us about that a little bit.
Because you have to, for me, like before I respond in life now, I have to
Mhm.
breathe through it
Mm,
and really allow myself to feel what I'm going to say so
yeah,
it can come from that place of connection and not me just saying words that I'm not attached to.
yeah, that's good.
Mm.
Good.
You know what? That's absolutely something that I really love about you, Ramel. Because you can be having a conversation with somebody and you can tell they're interacting, but their mind is elsewhere. They're not actually fully engaged.
Mm,
I've never experienced that with you, like ever. Like
mhm.
when I'm having a conversation with you, you are fully dialed in. Like you are feeling the vibrations of the words being exchanged and everything. And I'm like, I look forward to the day that I get to that kind of peace.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
really
me
want to
too.
feel heard and seen. And those were things that I've worked through where for so long in my life I didn't feel heard, I didn't feel seen, I didn't feel appreciated. So now that I've worked through that, I always am intentional whenever I'm engaging with anyone, I'm being present and I'm allowing you to feel heard and feel seen. And I'm not trying to think about the next word that I'm going to say. I'm actually processing what you're saying to me.
That's so good. Oh, yeah, I want to get to that place too. I'm gonna say and be real transparent and say I'm not completely there yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna start doing what you just did earlier because there's power in just being able to take a breath before you respond to something. So I'm gonna start doing that, Raymell. Thank you for that, so that I can connect more.
It allows the words just to really come with substance and power, and you're able to really deliver them from that place of pure purity. And not like you can tell when someone is not attached to the words that they're saying because they're just speaking so
Mm.
fast or they're just trying to get the point across. But you're like, but what's the message?
Mm.
But what's the
Right.
message
A
coming
whole bunch of words were said, but
through?
like, what was the point of that?
But I don't feel what she's saying. So can you repeat that? And then that's when you tune out. You thinking about the meal you about to eat after the conversation, or the things you got to do, or something else. You're not engaged because you're like, oh, you're not even connected with what you're telling me.
Yeah.
So again, you're our energy guy, and you want to also talk about how to feel and release our emotions deliberately. And the
Mhm.
importance of that is to begin to attract the things that we desire instead of the things that we don't want. So what does that look like? Because we have a lot of people that like they want better out of life, right? But they don't understand the connection to their words, the energy that they put off in achieving any type of desire that one might have.
Mhm. I think the biggest question that a lot of people have to ask themselves is, what do I want? A lot of us don't even know what we want in life. So we want what others want for us, or we want what we think will make others happy, but we don't really know what we truly want in life. So often we are just on this journey trying to please others, but we forget to please ourselves. So the first question is to ask, like, what do I want? Like, what is it that makes me happy, that fills me up? And then that's how you can start to get into alignment with that desire and really allow yourself to be led to it and really attract it to you. But when we become aware that there's so much power in our thoughts and there's so much power in our emotions, and I like to think of the analogy like this: think of your thoughts like a boat, and your emotions is the ocean. The ocean is what takes the boat to the destination. So you can have a thought all day, but if you're not emotionally attached to it, that thought is just sitting there. That boat's not going anywhere. But when you have an emotional attachment, meaning like that's why they say there's so much power in faith, because faith is a true belief that you know that whatever it is that you want or whatever it is that you are praying or desiring to have is already here, which allows that ship to have more momentum to get to the destination that you want it to go. And you're not going to allow the waves to discourage you or the tides to make you feel like, oh, I can't do this, it's impossible. And you're going to know it's just a part of the journey.
Right. Good
Let me ask
gracious,
you a
man.
question. Can I ask a question about that? Like, what if can you give people like some tools, one or two, how to get connected again? Because what if they're so disconnected from what they want because it's, I'm living by somebody else's expectation. There's been some past trauma. Like they're so disconnected. What can they do to really figure out what they want?
Sis, get out of my mind.
Um,
I'm gonna ask, how do you get to that point when you might be like in a very hectic or chaotic environment?
Yeah.
With that, I would say first you would want to do what you said, Sister Tracy, is the trauma. A lot of the trauma is what blocks us because those are energy blocks, emotional blocks that we have within. So you can't even connect with what you want when you're still hurting from things from your past. You can't even focus on the future when you're still weighted down by all those emotions, those anger, the sadness, the pain, the rage that you still have not released from the past. So you don't even what you want is even a factor because you're still living from that place of being in the past and bringing it into your present. So really the first thing is to start to work on healing yourself. And that's how you connect to the truth of who you are, to where you can even know what it is that you desire to have or experience in life. It's really the first step I would say is start your healing journey.
Yeah.
Mm. And what advice do you have for those that feel that strong emotions make them appear or feel weak?
That's something that we are taught by just others who have not worked on themselves or connected to their true selves, that being vulnerable is weak and that you shouldn't cry or you shouldn't express yourself in regards to just things that you want or just even being vulnerable or express yourself to others. And with that, it's just really unlearning that, unlearning those things that were instilled in you, because a lot of those are just programs and beliefs that are not yours. And what is truly a belief? A belief is a thought that you think over and over and over again that you believe is true. So often we're so attached to our beliefs that we're like, well, my family believed in my mother and my father. This is what they believed and passed down, but that's just a thought that they thought. You can shift your belief based on what is it that you want to focus on, what is it that you want to attract into your life. But it's really unlearning to remember who you are, because a lot of us forget that we're powerful, and we forget that we came here to experience life, and we forget that we're truly souls in a body, but we're not a body with a soul.
Repeat that just one more time, just in case somebody missed that. Just in case somebody
We
missed that part.
forget that we are souls in a body, but we're not bodies with a soul, meaning that our soul knows it's a powerful just force. Because it's not, a soul isn't a person, a soul isn't a thing, it's a force. And the body, sometimes we get lost in that and we become, what's the Bible say, be in the world but not of the world. And a lot of us become so attached to the world that we forget that we came here to be in it, to experience it.
I love it. So, I just wanted to touch on something too, because I was just having a conversation with someone who was talking about how they normally would respond to something in anger just because of like what they had experienced as a child. And I was saying to them, like, the true power is in your ability to not ignore, but just be able to get past the anger right? And respond in a different way, not to be reactive. Your true power is in the strength of not doing what somebody expects you to do, right? In terms of dealing with certain situations and coming from anger. Because a lot of times, especially when people really know who you have been in the past, they try to trigger you, right? And I said, your true strength comes from your ability to respond in a different manner. One, that's going to keep you calm and give you peace. And then two, not give them the satisfaction.
And you know what? I want to say triggers, because that's where I think a lot of us, we become disempowered by triggers. But when you look at triggers as a gift, it's the universe's gift to show you what you still need to work on. So whenever someone triggers you, don't look at it as a bad thing. Just like, damn, you showing me what I still have not worked on that I need to release. Thank you. Instead of getting mad or feeling like, oh, you got me. It's like, no, you're giving me my power back by showing me what I still have not released within.
That right there. So that statement right there is powerful as all get out. Because that was something I had to work on in myself, and I still work on it. I still have to actively work on it. There are times that there are things that set me off. The main things being injustice and just anybody being discourteous and like unaware of the fact that like that's a fellow human being in front of you. Why are you treating people so poorly? And I find myself asking myself, like, when I do get bent out of shape about certain things, like, what does this actually affect by responding to it? That's the question that I ask myself. When I think about it, I'm like, I'm not going to remember this in a month, 2 months, a year, whatever. So there's really no point in expending that angry energy. I rethink the thought that triggered me and ask myself that question, and I'm able to step back and say, you know what? I got better things to focus on. I got amazing people that are waiting for me to step into my awesome badassery, as I like to call it, and just do my damn thing so they can see that it can be done and they can do it in their lives in the way that it's meant to be done by them. And when I keep my mind on that, it makes it easier to keep my steps moving forward and not to get hung up on things that I'm not yet in a position to affect or control.
Yeah, I love how you're turning it around completely, right? Triggers are gifts.
They are.
Right? Just that statement alone is like, all right, we can flip this switch real quick.
It's a gift wrapped in sandpaper because it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. But when we allow ourselves to see, wait, because it's never anything someone does, it's never about us. They're just projecting their hurt and then their unhealed selves onto us. So their hurt and what they got going on, they're projecting it to us. And if we still have hurt and anger within us, then it's going to go against a rock we have within us. And that's where it affects us. So it's that hurt. But when you heal and release, when someone projects it on you, like, oh, this ain't about me. And you don't take it personal and you don't take it to like, oh, well, I got to react because I've already done the work on myself. So now I'm going to show you what love and compassion looks like, because I don't have any reason to give my power away based on you being hurt. So the fact that you're hurt and you're trying to hurt people, I'm healed and I'm going to heal people based on my presence.
Well, now. So it's time for a short commercial break and a very short segment by myself. I want to remind everybody of why I personally celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Y'all can choose to celebrate or not. Most people just think it's a drinking holiday. Me, I'm like, it's a part of our history. I love it. So, y'all, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. And ooh, this one. What's up, everyone? So I just wanted to share briefly why I love Cinco de Mayo. Well, there's a few reasons. It's my sister-in-law's birthday. It's my very good friend Samantha's birthday. But also, it is a day that I like to remember that though society would try to keep us as divided as possible, our Hispanic Mexican brothers and sisters actually helped to prevent the French army in the town of Puebla, found in Mexico, of course, from making it to assist the Southern Army during the Civil War. Now, it's said that the French ended up in Mexico because Mexico basically said, we can't pay our debts. We need a couple of years. We're not going to pay you. That could be the case. But it was also found out that due to the war in the South, textiles, cotton being the main one, weren't being exported to Europe and was therefore messing with their economy. So the French ended up in Mexico. The Mexicans were like, no, thank you, please, and fought them off. And the French never made it to assist the Southern Army. So I have a link that I'll be dropping in the comments in case you want to read the story yourself. That's just what I gathered from it and other sources that I love to lean on to learn more about real history, not just Black history, but real history, not just what they tell us in the history books. So I raised my cerveza today to our Mexican brothers and sisters that helped to indirectly or directly free our ancestors from captivity. So with that, thank you for your attention and time, and back to our regularly scheduled program. Woo-woo! I love what we do here.
I love y'all whole setup. I love the commercial breaks. I love everything. I'm thankful.
What's going on, Sister Queen Igdalia? We hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, my beautiful Sister Queen. So, Raymell, I must know because you have all these amazing dance videos on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. When did you start dancing?
The time I came off the womb, I've been dancing since I was an infant. It's honestly my first love. And there were times like, because I'm born and raised in LA. I remember my aunt told me a story when I was 3. She took me to the movies. Do you guys remember that movie, Breaking? It was like an old movie where the guy, he was like dancing with that broom and the broom stood up. I don't know if it's a West Coast movie, but it's an old movie. And she took me to it, and she said I got out the seat, went to the front of the like movie screen, and started dancing, and the whole theater started like cheering me on. And my mom used to take me to the beach, and I used to compete against people at the beach, at the boardwalk. They used to do like different competitions. So yeah, I've been dancing from the time I came into this world.
That's awesome. And that's actually, I haven't danced in years, like truly danced in years, but that was one of my loves, especially coming out of high school into my 20s. I used to break dance. And of course, you know, hip hop and drill team and step is in there too. And you know, when that movie Rise came out with the Crumpers, I know you know about the Crumpers because you right there
I
in
used
LA.
to be a part of the clown group. Yeah, I used to be a part of the clown group.
Yeah, one of my favorite dudes on that dang on that movie was that Tiger Ice. Tiger, dude was cool. So I definitely appreciate the love of dance. I'm just like, how do your knees not hurt when you do some of your moves, man?
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. I just don't show it on the camera, but behind closed doors, I'm over here with the ice packs, elevating the legs.
You be voguing and everything. I love it.
All styles. And honestly, for me too, I didn't even realize how that's such a good form of energy release. So like whenever I like one of my videos that went viral on TikTok, it got like almost 200,000 views. It was my brother, he got killed June of last year. And after his funeral, I came home and I was on TikTok and I seen this video and I'm like, oh, let me see what I can do with this beat. And I just needed something to get my mind off of just that day and what happened. And I recorded that video and I'm like, I posted it. And I think it was going to do anything because before that time, my TikTok wasn't hitting on much. I woke up and I had like so many views, so many likes. I'm like, what is this? But it was my way of releasing those emotions because I was just kind of going through the motions. So I'm like, let me just find a way to let it out. And it's a good form of release for me. So whenever I got anything going on, I just put on the beat and let it out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that means people felt it, right? It came through the camera, the video, it came through. Because people respond a lot more to what you're feeling, right? If, feeling comes through music, like if we're singing or dancing, like that feeling comes out. So people were responding to that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised how many people felt it because it was the biggest video I've like got more views and likes and reshares. People even made videos of they made like duets with me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what this felt like. Okay, and I just dedicated it to my brother because honestly, I said it was him coming through me that allowed that to happen.
That's beautiful. And, and that's an awesome example of an alternative way to deal with the death of loved ones, especially siblings or people that we're close to like that. Some of us just lash out or we completely shut down and lock out. And um, there are other ways to deal with these powerful emotions that we sometimes feel due to things that are out of our control and remind us that we are, in fact, human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And what I am being called to share, because I don't know, Spirit is telling me to say this, but I want to talk about, because I know a lot of people are facing depression and just stress, anxiety. And I want to bring awareness to when you don't allow yourself to honor your feelings. Like Sister Brandy, when you were saying, like, when someone does something and like, or when it's injustice and stuff like that, like how it puts you in that feel. A lot of us, we don't allow ourselves to feel that feel. So like, say if I'm driving, someone cuts me off, and instead of me like I'm angry and I allow myself to feel that anger, I would just suppress it, carry that anger with me throughout the day. And now I'm mad at the person at the store for taking too long for getting my food, or I'm mad at my coworker or friend for something. I'm just carrying that energy with me, carrying that emotion with me. So when we allow ourselves to honor how we feel and feel our feelings, is how we're able to release it and let it go. Because when I said earlier, when you have suppressed and repressed emotions, it becomes depressed in the body. And that's where a lot of depression comes from. You have emotions that are just stored within, and that's where we just get stuck in those feelings, which creates our thoughts, which now we're replaying scenarios and situations, which creates stories that we believe are true. And now that's when we become in that dark place of being in a funk. And it's a hole that we start to slowly start to slide in, and we feel like it's hard to get out of. And then that's where we just let a lot of the ways to cope with it become our number, other than just feeling our feelings, releasing our feelings. And that's why having a coach, having a community, having support for me was a big game changer, because on my own I couldn't do it on my own. This sinful person you all see now was not always me. I had to do the work, but I couldn't do that work on my own. But I wanted to bring that awareness.
And that's why we truly believe here on the Coach and the Disconnector, and today the Coach and the Reset Coach. But we truly believe that your coach should have a coach. All of us need coaches, mentors, guidance. Even if whether you're coaching one-on-one with somebody or if you're using the information from a book to coach yourself, we could be self-coached. All you need is the right information and knowledge in the area that you're interested in progressing in. That's it. So you don't have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to get the help and assistance that you need to get to whatever level that you are seeking in life. And all of us should be seeking multiple levels. And when I learned that, I began sharing that because I thought that you had to pay somebody and follow a multiple week program and do the homework and do the self work. And yeah, you still need to do those things, but you don't have to do it under the thumb of somebody who may or may not actually be there to help. They might be there to help themselves in their pockets. Pay attention. There you go, Michelle. Hey, Sister Michelle, how you doing, girl?
And it might take multiples too, right? Hey, Michelle, it might take multiples, right? Like you may need coaches for different areas of
right. You are the master of multiple coaches. I swear you are.
Yes, ma'am.
She got a spiritual coach. She got a potential coach, as in passion and potential. I'm sure you got a finance coach in there somewhere. That visionary coach in Dr. D. Yeah, you a coaching queen. I love it.
Yes, ma'am. I never stopped the self-development.
It's a journey. It's a journey that we are all on.
Yeah.
And
what resources do you use?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I have.
While you're on that journey that you were just talking about, what resources do you use to continue?
I have a life
prosper and expand.
A life coach. I have a business coach. I have a community, my sisters right here, that I can pour into and lean on and just get inspiration from when I see you all in the work and on that, just becoming that better version, because that's, for me, it's inspiration. Like, I don't see myself as like, I don't see competition. I don't look at others that way. I'm like, when you move, I move. You win, I win. We're all one. So that's really what, for me, that was a game changer. But my life coach, she definitely helped transform my life, because she's the one who allowed me or taught me how to feel my feelings. I remember when I first started working with her, she would ask me, like, so what feelings are coming up? And I'm like, girl, what you mean what feelings are coming up? Because that was a foreign thing for me, like feeling my feelings and really honoring them. Like, I never really knew. I didn't know about boundaries. She taught me how to set boundaries. She taught me how to really get into a vibrational alignment, to really embody, like, to become this thing versus waiting for it to happen and you be it. Like, become it now. Even though you don't have it, be it now. And that's how you truly attract it. So she really helped shift so much within me, but she ain't do nothing. Honestly, I did all the work. She was just a mirror in a space that I can really just let out a lot of things, because when you have trauma you've experienced, a lot of times you're guarded, you're shielded, you have trust issues. So it's hard for you to trust to really speak your truth without feeling like you're going to be judged or feel like the space isn't safe. So she created a safe space for me to just pour it all out. She even helped me with anger, because for me, I think anger and rage is an emotion that we all run away from. And I know for me, like, that was one that I witnessed growing up. I seen my mother be abused by my father, her husband, and just different men. So I'm like, if I get angry, I don't want to take it out or just get physical with others. So I was afraid to feel that emotion. But she showed me different ways. Like, if you want to express anger, you don't have to fight, snap, crackle, and pop on someone. I like to do one that is called like the wall work, or just like, so I'll go against the wall and I'll just let it out. And when you do it, it's such a powerful emotion, like an energy that just releases through you. I sock a pillow, I box. So I'll like go to the gym and I'll put on my gloves and I'll hit the bag, and I'll just release it that way. But for me, that was a hard emotion to really acknowledge and release. But that's where my superpower was, because through that's where the badass in me, because I used to be a pushover. I didn't like conflict. I didn't like to get into any type of altercations or just anything that would seem like it would be an argument. So I would just shut up. Okay, you're right. And I wouldn't fully honor how I felt. And then I would just carry that. And then I would feel like, oh, they're against me, the world's against me. But once I started releasing that, I set boundaries to where I ain't got to say nothing. My presence speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You made me want to throw something across the room, sir.
We both.
You better shut up and talk more.
I was just identifying so much with that, because I grew up in a household very much like yours, where my dad was abusing my mother, and I used to hide in my room, and that was like my happy place with the lights and all that. But I suppressed anger too until I got older and knew how to express it, right? And like you said, doing all of the work. But man, I did not know how to deal with that earlier in life. So, thank you for that. Learn how to release
definitely.
That.
And I'll say something. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it works for me currently. Whenever I have like extreme anger or rage, I repurpose that energy into focus. Focus in my investments, focus on building business, focus on these shows, focus on the graphics and things that I create in the background and stuff. I repurpose that into productivity. And as I work, I release it.
And that's a good point, Brandy. But I would say too, just to be careful with what Raymell was talking about earlier. Like if you know how to release it in that way, that's amazing. But when Raymell was talking about how we just kind of push it down and then it sits and it festers, right? And
Oh, yes.
because I used to do that. I thought that I was doing that. I thought that I was releasing it by being productive, but I really wasn't. I was still carrying it and I was just doing. So you have to be careful. And Raymell talked about that earlier. You got to be careful. So I just wanted to mention that to the audience. Don't think that you're going into that productive mode so much that you just allow that anger to sit inside of you if you don't really know how to release it through your productivity.
Well, I will speak to Mr. Johnson too. He's my sounding board.
Yeah.
That can be a sign of avoidance. It can be a sign of, I had a session with a client earlier today and we got to the root of her procrastination was due to her younger self who didn't feel heard and feel seen and loved by her father. So what happens is she just wants to do for others, be productive and all of these things for other things, but not really connecting to her true, like, what is it that you want? What is it that makes you fill you up and lights you up? But her way of avoiding was just like, let me be busy. Let me just be doing things that distract me versus now feel your feelings. And that's for, especially, and I got to bring it to the culture. In our culture, we don't know how to express ourselves without throwing the bows, how to express ourselves without pressing somebody out and making it a finger pointing. And when we really learn how to honor, like in this moment, if I'm upset right now, I feel I'm not, and we gotta not claim I am upset. No, I feel upset because what you say you are is who you become. So right now, I feel upset. I'm not upset. Right now, I feel upset. Honor that feeling, let it pass, and then you'll have a different feeling as quick as you release it.
So we know you for something else in this group as well, and that is the laws of attraction. So did you want to? How many laws of attraction are there, Brother King?
Well, there's 12 universal laws. There's one law of attraction. The universal laws, a lot of us are unaware that they even exist. A lot of us are unaware that we use these laws every single day, just like the law of gravity. Even with the law of attraction, the law of attraction is always working. The law of gravity, you know, what comes up, goes up will always come down. We can't control it. It's just how it is. That's how the universal laws are. And a lot of us are unaware that we are using these laws. And the thing is, just like we have man-made laws, like if you run a red light or drink and drive, you may get a ticket, even go to jail, you'll break the law. You can't break the universal laws. You either work with them or against them. And a lot of us being unaware that they even exist, we work against them. And even with the law of attraction, like we tend to focus on what we don't want. We tend to focus on all the things that are going wrong in life. And we unconsciously attract more of that to us because the law of attraction is wherever your focus goes on what is wanted or unwanted is what you continuously attract to you. That's why it's called attraction. So everything is a energy that you send out is what you attract back to you. So it's really when we become aware that I have the power to attract what I truly desire. And that's where it goes to the root of, well, what do you really want to attract to you? And that's how you can really manifest that. Because when we deliberately, like, even when it comes to money, that's everyone's thing. They want to know, how can I bring them dollars in? But a lot of us focus on the lack of what we have. So we'll see our account, I don't have it. And then we get into a feeling of I'm broke, our belief that money is hard to get, or money doesn't grow on trees. So we unconsciously are just stuck in that stagnant place of being broke because that's what we're giving our focus and attention to. And that's what we're believing that is our truth. And that's where we stay on that hamster wheel. So how do you shift that? Be in gratitude for what it is that you want to come. So for me, like a little trick I give to people, I tell people to put $100 in your pocket. If you ain't got 100, put 50, maybe 20, but you put $100 in your pocket and you go and you like go to a mall and you spend that $100 however many times, but you don't spend it physically, just vibrationally. So you just go in the know it's like, oh, I can buy that. So you spend it here, you spend it there. And if you spend that 100 times, you spend $1,000. If you spend it 1,000 times, you spend 100,000. And the intention is just to vibrationally start to align and connect with the knowing that you are abundant and that you can have any and everything that you desire. And that's what you send out into the universe. And now you start to be a money magnet. I get money coming to me through so many sources. I get random checks. I get people signing up. I get some money. Like, it's just, I'm a money magnet. I'll just say that. And I'm not doing to toot my own horn, but BB. But you learn how to work with these laws. You start to see nothing is ever happening to you. Everything is always happening for you. And it's always trying to expand you and help you grow. But we resist a lot of just change. We resist just the flow of life. Like, we put so much meaning behind things in life. We don't know how to flow with the rhythms of life, meaning we think it's always going to be summer. So we think it's always going to be tank tops and short season, but we don't embrace the winter or the fall. And we don't know that in the spring is when our crop grows. So that's life. Life is not always going to be good, but it's not always going to be bad. And think of it, when we're in the hospital and we're hooked up to that, what's that machine? The lines go up and down. The moment it's like this, it's flatline. That's when you're dead. So if you're never going through high or lows in life, you're no longer here.
It's interesting that you say that, because I recently had an experience with my mother's side of the family. And I'm not dealing with anybody over there right now. It's not because I don't love them, but it's because my husband and I are wanting to start our family, which means I can't have my stress levels up here based on toxicity, gossip, and things that I can't control. And so I chose, for the time being, to shut all that down. Y'all need something, call my mama. She'll let me know anything important. And at first, like, it wasn't too long ago that I would feel so horrible and guilty for doing that. But now I feel so much peace, because I know I didn't do it out of spite. I know I don't have any ill feelings towards anybody that hasn't earned it. But again, I'm learning to let that go too. I do have some right nasty individuals over there, but that's neither here nor there right now. But it's been, my peace has helped to help bring my mother peace. She still goes up and down because those are her siblings, those are her nieces, those are her nephews. But when she comes to me and I say, can we do anything about this? Okay. What are the steps we could take to help resolve this? Okay. What's the first action step you're going to take in the process that we just went over? I can help calm my mother down because I've calmed down. So our peace and that ability to level out our own vibrations and see the bigger picture helps others in our immediate area too. And when I realized that, I work harder to achieve the level of peace that you exude 98% of the time. I'm trying to get to that level of things, big brother.
It's just really not putting, like, and that's the law of relativity, is I don't put meaning towards much in life. I don't claim anything good. I don't claim anything that's bad, because honestly, nothing really is. It's just an experience that I'm having. I allow myself to embrace the experience and know that whatever that is going to expand me. And before, I used to put so much meaning behind what people said or didn't say, did or didn't do, and I would get lost in giving so much energy to what I couldn't change, versus I know the only thing that I can control is my thoughts and my emotions, which creates my actions, which creates the reality that I experience. So now I just focus on what aligns with you. What is, like you said, Sister Randy, what is peace for you? And I just start to allow myself to be guided to that and not try to put meaning towards anything. I don't get involved into the politics of the world. Honestly, when people talk, like, I don't watch the news. I don't put any of, like, the worldly things into my computer programming, I guess what you want to call the mind. So I don't really know what's going on. And a lot of people tell me, I'm like, oh, they're like, what planet are you on? I'm like, I guess not here. I'm not, I don't know what's going on in the world.
I'm on planet Raymell and I like it here.
I'm in my own galaxy.
I absolutely love that. And you are a perfect example of how to disconnect, though, because some of us hold the news and everything at high regard, but, like, why would we hold on to or cling to something so tightly that just brings us stress and worry and concern and just a reminder of the poor side of humanity if you allow it to soak in too deeply? I watch the news just enough to make sure the world around me isn't exploding. That's about it. And if I'm watching television, I'm watching I'm watching cartoons and stuff. I don't care. Like there are some action movies I like, but for the most part, I'm watching like low level, mid to midget, just baby back BS animated shows. Things like Archer and South Park. That's what I watch to disconnect and just laugh and let it all go. So I can definitely appreciate the reason why you don't put too much energy into media or taking in news or taking in just the negativity that is surrounding us. Because a lot of us don't understand we don't have to let it in. We can simply observe it and say, that's interesting. And let it keep going. Because not everything is for us. So we don't have to grab onto it and get taken along for a ride with it.
Even conversations, people try to put their emotional, I would like to say dump their emotional garbage onto me because I am such a peaceful, zenful type of person. But I'm like, I'll set that boundary right now. I'm not in a place to have this conversation. Maybe we can revisit it another time and I'll walk away and go back and go do something else because I used to be that doormat that was like, come and just walk over me, give me all of your trash and dump it. No, I'm protecting my peace. So right now, I'm not in this place to have this conversation. That's an emotional boundary I set. Because even if I am, if it doesn't feel good, why am I going to do it? And I honor what is good and right for me. So if I know that you need some support, and we have to set that boundary too, because we are all coaches in the sense that we have our own business we serve, and others will try to get free service based on knowing that you are whatever that title and role that you are. So I even said that.
What'd you say?
You can book a discovery session and we can further unpack this. But right now, I'm not in the place, and I just learned to set boundaries that align with me and connect with my peace.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that. So, you actually have a masterclass coming up, do you not?
I do. Yes, I will be teaching the universal laws next Friday and Saturday, May 13th and 14th. I will be teaching all 12 laws, and I have an extra law that I'm going to add into it, the vacuum law, which a lot of people don't know about, and I'll just share with you all. The vacuum law is you have to create space, and whenever you create space, the universe always fills that space with something. And the thing is, a lot of us are hoarders. We're hoarders with internal and external. We're hoarders with clothes. We're hoarders with antiques and things that we just collect. And it's like, if you don't have space, how are you going to allow new things to come to you? We're hoarders with our emotions. A lot of us are holding on to so much trauma, so much hurt, anger, and pain, but then we want to attract money, or we want to attract love, or we want to attract happiness, but we don't have space for the universe to bring it to us. So when you clear that space, then you can become a vibrational match to attract what you want versus continue to push away what you ask for because you don't have room to receive it. So I will be teaching these laws and really pouring into. I'm excited because my mission while I'm here in this vessel is just to remind people how powerful they are, connecting with their emotions, guide them to just the remembrance that we are souls in a body, not a body with the soul, and show them how to truly work with the universe so we can stop being a victim to life and we can start being victors and conquering our lives.
Absolutely beautiful. If I didn't already have plans, I would be there, but I hope there's a recording that I could purchase and
there's a recording that's going to be available. Yes, it will be.
Yes, I get to continue to be a student. I love it. So, y'all, if you want to connect with Raymell on Facebook, just hit him up at facebook.com/Raymell Bentley. Takes you right to his page. And Raymell, how do you feel about DMs?
I'm. It's like it's iffy because the DMs be full sometimes, and sometimes it's send me a message, and if I respond back, then you know that it was appropriate. Let's just say that.
If you're gonna slide into Raymell's DMs, be about business or some positivity. No craziness, no crazy pictures. No, hey boo, how you doing? You want to go out for now? That's not what we here for.
People would just try to have full conversations or just act like and call my DM. I'm like, what is going on? I don't know you. Like, how are we supposed to? No. So I had to start really setting boundaries with that because that comes with the price of expansion, right? You're gonna have people
Right.
who want to reach out and touch, but you gotta let them know there's a
Yeah.
wall that you gotta be able to climb over.
Mhm.
Delete, delete, delete.
And where
Yes,
can
yes.
we follow you on Instagram, Raymell?
Raymell Bentley is connected. Yeah, Raymell Bentley is my Instagram. TikTok is Raymell Bentley also. Just Raymell Bentley. That's the character I'm playing in
Just
this
Raymell
life.
Bentley across the board. Very
Raymell Bentley.
simple. That's nice and simple. I could do that. I could do with that. So, guys, if you have any questions for Raymell, be sure to drop them in the comments right now.
Do you have
Maybe
any
she'll
questions
watch
for me?
either.
That'd
She
be
feels you
good.
on that. Really, Facebook user? And delete. Delete, 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 delete. We are good at the delete button. Like, don't come with no foolishness, man. We got things we try to do and achieve, and just don't do it. Don't
You
do
see, I
it.
shifted even my content. I don't post like photos of myself anymore. I just post videos of me just pouring into educating, like, because I'm a model, but that's not really in a sense. I don't know. I guess I would say I'm pulling away, but it's just who I am also. So it's really not who I am, but it's a character I play because I am who I am. But when I would post photos, that's when the DMs and all of those would get like out of hand. So I was like, intentionally said for 2022, I don't want it to be about this. I want it to be about my heart and my mind and use my voice to pour into others and connect with others that way.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook user just said it: growth and evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then the funny thing is, a lot of us we're in positions that we just like our peace. We like our the ability to unplug if we choose to. And I encounter people like, well, why don't you want this many friends? Why don't you want to be out there like this? Why don't you want to be in front of somebody's camera? I am in front of somebody's camera. I'm in front of my camera right now. I enjoy what I do here. I enjoy what we do on Fem Talk with Tracy and she and Melissa. I enjoy having interactions with my brother kings and sister queens that are within and outside of the network because I'm meeting so many new, awesome, amazing people that are in alignment with all of us and what we love to about each other and helping one another and just uplifting one another and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be big to be impactful. When I learned that, I stopped chasing after certain things. I stopped seeking validation. I am happy with the person that I see in the mirror every day. Could I be a little smaller? Absolutely. But that's what I got my reset coach for.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now, if you're unaware, our show is actually available offline. You can download E360 TV app on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and any Android streaming device, as well as your cell phone. Doesn't matter if you have an Android or an Apple, you can download the E360 TV app and go into the Fresh Take section. You can check out our show anytime. You can binge watch all the episodes. You can watch the Fem Talk episodes, and there are so many other positive influencers to be found on the network as well. One of them being one of our coaches, Mr. Lauren Michaels Harris, whose shirt Tracy's actually wearing right now. She attended an event last Thursday. It was absolutely amazing called The Power of We. And I'm looking forward to being able to attend next year. So I want to remind you guys that Raymell does have this class coming up next Friday and Saturday, the 13th and 14th of May. If you love what you heard here this fine evening, tap in. He is a very powerful instructor, but just an amazing human being altogether. He's one of my favorite people, honestly. I don't tell you that enough, Brother King, but you are one of my favorite people.
I received that. Thank you.
I
appreciate
agree.
it.
I agree. We don't talk much, but I'm always watching your videos.
And I see you. I see you too. And I even see you try one of my workouts. But
Oh, leg burn. Okay, but I'm gonna do it again, though. I am gonna do it again.
It don't. I do that as the burnout, and it definitely when I tell them I don't come to play, I come to slay them legs. But those results. The results are worth every bit of it. So yes.
See, I'm one of them people that got too much sense. I'll be like, I'll do a leg workout and I'll do minimal burn. I don't want the I can't walk my butt down the steps burn, because that means if for any reason I need to stop everything and run for my life, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die because y'all burnt my legs up.
Not true. That adrenaline will kick in. You'll be able to run. It'll be all right.
I don't want to have to find out the hard way. That doesn't apply to me.
Think about those muscles that you're gonna build to be able to run.
Oh, I got leftover muscles in my legs from all the years of gymnastics. I feel like I'll live. So, Brother Raymell, I want to thank you just one more time for joining us this fine evening. And of course, you are welcome back anytime. Coach Carey, I hope you join us next week and you enjoy this episode. And yes, Tracy, thank you so much for being my beautiful, wonderful co-host, as well as my wonderful sister queen. Yes. And y'all that tuned in live tonight, thank you for jumping in, giving us your feedback, your comments, your laughter, your aha moments, because you shared a little bit of everything in them comments this night, and we definitely appreciate your interaction. So, Raymell, is there anything that you would like to leave us with before we hop on off of here this beautiful evening?
What's coming up for me? Don't be afraid to feel your emotions. Don't dishonor how you feel. Allow yourself to just honor everything that comes up for you. Take the time to not give your power away to others. So whenever someone triggers you, know that it's a gift wrapped in sandpaper for you to do internal work, because everything is a reflection to show you where you are on your journey. So allow any and everyone to be a mirror for you, because it's showing you what you need to release and where you are. And as always, if you can believe it, you can achieve it.
I love it. And with that, y'all, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We will be back next week with another wonderful guest for you. Tracy, thank you for your time. And that's all we got for y'all tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Mwah.